have gotten every comment, every email, and every message. Y'all are definitely all over me about the complete study guide. And I have been slacking, I'll admit that. But tonight, we're getting back into it. We left off with the interpersonal competency cluster. Now we're going to wrap up with the business cluster. The first competency in the business cluster is business acumen. This competency tests your ability to understand and to integrate key financial and strategic concepts into HR. Here's where you need to focus. You need to understand budgeting, and you need to be familiar with financial statements and financial documents, and also business documents. You should have a deep understanding of the organization's business model, the strategic goals, and the competitive advantage that the organization is using. And you need to know where the organization stands so you can answer the questions. You should understand business value and how it's created and how each company's value is created. Then you need to understand the challenges of business based on the cycle that the business is in. Now, here's how you're going to be tested on that. You'll need to be able to read and interpret those financial statements, and you need to understand how HR initiatives impact those. You need to understand the strategic planning process and the frameworks that are used in that process, like the SWOT analysis or the PESO analysis or a balanced scorecard. Study the product life cycle. So you need to understand what business looks like at each stage of that cycle and the challenges. You have to know the components of a business case. You need to know business intelligence and ERP systems. You'll need to understand the value chain and how businesses create value. And you also want to make sure that you are familiar with Porter's 5 forces, right? And the things that might impact business and how you should respond to that based on what threats the company is facing. Next up is consultation. And the consultation competency focuses on working with stakeholders to assess organizational gaps and then designing solutions, of course, to resolve the gaps. You'll be expected to recognize answers that implement change management and align that with business needs. Here's where you need to focus. You want to understand organizational change management theories and the change management models. So you need to understand the importance of consulting and how that might be challenged. This includes analyzing business challenges and advising stakeholders on the HR solutions for the gaps. You'll need to know how change affects an organization and master the change management strategies so that you can get the employees' buy-ins to make smoother transitions. Here's how you're going to be tested on that. In this section, the exam is going to assess your ability to evaluate business challenges and recommend HR solutions that support the business objectives. So you should expect questions on the consultation model, the change management models, stakeholder advising. Some of the situational questions might ask you to navigate HR challenges and implement change. You need to study the organizational change management models like Lewin's model and McKinsey's 7S model, Carter's model. Of course, you need to study the consultation model, study the approaches to change, organic, progressive, or cascade, and then study the group decision-making tools like the force field analysis, the MCDA, the SWOT analysis, the SOAR analysis. And you'll need to understand the relationship of the J curve to production and how that how change impacts production and what the J curve does to prepare for that. Okay, the final competency in this cluster is analytical aptitude. Analytical aptitude is all about using data and evidence to evaluate HR initiatives and make informed business decisions. If you're taking the senior level exam, this is one of the most important competencies because this supports HR's mission to make evidence-based decisions, and that is very important. Here's where you need to focus. You need to understand data gathering methods like surveys and focus groups and metrics. Focus on developing data analysis through data advocacy and data gathering, data analysis, and data cleansing. Understand what it means to make evidence-based decisions. how you gather that evidence, and then how you use that data to influence leaders. Of course, you're going to need to master data interpretation techniques. So things like reading graphs and data analysis tips and graphic analysis tools. Here's how you'll be tested on that. So in this section, SHRM will test your ability to analyze and interpret HR data to make informed decisions. So expect questions that require identifying key metrics, interpreting charts, and applying insight to scenarios. You'll need to study surveys and the assessment process, like the validation of data, errors in data, reliability in data, data skills. You'll need to know the differences in types of data, like quantitative and qualitative. Data analysis techniques like standard deviation or root cause analysis or variance analysis or quartiles and percentiles. You'll need to know basic statistics and measurements. And also study graphic analysis charts like histograms or Pareto charts or pie charts. And you need to understand the importance of evidence-based HR decision-making strategies. Okay, now this should have us right back on track. Next week, I am going to hold fast and I am going to make sure that I continue the ultimate study guide, and I'm going to go right into the people knowledge domain. I'm thinking I'll probably split the people knowledge domain up, and I'll probably split all of the knowledge domains up, but I'll evaluate and see what's best. But for now, here we are. We're back at it, and I will see you next week. Bye.